What's up, guys? Keyshawn Chia here, back at you with another new alternate universe what if this time. And this is going to be, well, kind of, another, you know, powerful one or crazy one. And this is going to be crazy, bizarre, and quite wacky. But this is going to be what if Naruto was gifted the power of boredom? Well, the power of limited power. As, well, let me explain, basically. But he's going to be having ultimate power or limited power. So, how would this happen? How would this happen? So basically, this is a basically you could say idea. Well, not idea by a fan, but also we kind of was working in a Discord, which you should join if you want to become a god. We was pretty much working, and I was working on the gods table and stuff, and trying to find new gods to basically add into the what if for the galaxy tournament. So this is you could say his god name, but also shouts out to him, and I will also put his name down in the description. But yeah, this is you could say his thing, and I wanted to put it into the video. So let's you could say get started. So we start off in the galaxy God's table, and Keyshawn Chia is pretty much sitting at the table and pretty much waiting for all the other gods, to find their people, to find their champions and stuff. This is where Katakuri, you could say the god of boredom, is really bored. He's really bored, and he's pretty much you could say wearing a scarf and this you could say eating donuts and really bored and stuff, saying, when are we gonna get this started, Keyshawn? Which Keyshawn looks at him and says, "Listen, I know you're really bored, but we have to. Everybody else has to find their champion to fight in this galaxy tournament. I know you want to see some excitement. I know you want to see some excitement of all having all our champions to fight as once." Which this is where category is saying, but this is really boring. And come on, I'm kind of getting quite bored here. Like having these donuts, eating these donuts right now, it's quite boring. I kind of lost of this appetite to eat these donuts. Now, this is where category says, you know what? I just make this much quicker. I look for a champion, and begins to head down to the universes. Now, this is where he finds. This is a different ultimate universe, where this ultimate universe is quite, you could say, different. How different? How is? It's because you could say the number one hero All Might dies in this one. I know, crazy, huh? He died. Yes, he died, and All For One died in their fight. So pretty much, yeah, they pretty much die. So there's not no All Might or All For One in this. So what is going on? What how the story? What is this open universe? You asking me, and I will pretty much explain. Now, this universe is where All Might dies, but not All Might's mentor. All Might's mentor pretty much is, you could say, is alive, but pretty much she's pretty much injured. Not badly injured, but injured in a coma. In a coma, you could say. Now, All For One and All For One and All Might pretty much had the battle since that, and they died, killing each other in the process. Now, there's no number one hero anymore, and people, you could say, don't have a number one symbol, and no one haven't took up the rank of number one ever since then. Now, this Deku, you could say, this Deku doesn't have anyone to look up to, so he really doesn't have no quirk. He has no quirk. He's constantly, getting messed with, and he's pretty much you could say, 100% pure loser of upsetting. Now, this Deku pretty much is, working hard and you know, trying to figure out what to do with himself, because no one Like no one doesn't know. You could say he doesn't know what to do, and he's trying to be a hero, and he does watch all my videos previously, but when he does, he just cries and says, "Oh, I'm like, if only I can ask you the question if I can be a hero without quirk and stuff." And this is where Kirigari comes down, and he's pretty much saying, "Do you cry like this all the time by yourself?" And this is where Deku is pretty much freaks out and says, "Who are you?" And Kirigari is saying, "This is already about. I'm already tired already. I am the I am the god of boredom, or you could say the god of limitless power, or infinite power, you could say. Now, I want you to be my champion to hurry up and try to get this galaxy started. But also, do you want to have this power that I will bestow upon you?" Which Deku is thinking, and he thinks real hard. He says, "Yes, I want to be strong." Now, this is where Kirigari restores Deku the power. Now, what is this power? This power I will explain when we get to the beach training, this 10 months of training. Now, Kirigari pretty much restores him the power, and Deku begins to hit the ground, passed out. Now, Kirigari is saying, "Whoops, I think I accidentally gave you all the power at once. I hope you're not dead." Now, Kirigari is smiling, pretty much because he's getting entertained a little bit. This is where Deku gets up, and he begins to feel the power going through him and stuff. Now, as Kirigari is explaining that, you know, he will be his champion to fight for the Galaxy tournament, that he should get prepared. He should like get prepared and stuff when the day comes. But he says, "First, do you have any food? Because I'm pretty hungry." Which Deku says, "Yeah." And Deku begins to, you could say, make a meal. And Kirigari says, "This is good. Now, you can keep this power, but there's one condition. You must always pay true. You must always make food and pay tribute to me by making food and putting it down and paying tribute to me like that." Which Deku says, "Okay, that seems pretty much easy." Now, Kirigari pretty much leaves and goes back to the Galaxy Roundtable and pretty much sits down and grabs some food and begins to eat and says, "I already found my champion." And he's eating with his scarf. Now, Deku pretty much is thinking, saying, "Alright," begins to head to the beach. But before that, he pretty much grabs a scarf and puts it on. Because, like I said, you could say whoever has this power, but will also have a fetish to put on a scarf, that have a scarf around their neck, like this scarf. So Deku has this scarf, and it's pretty torn up. It's clean, but it's pretty torn up. Now, Deku begins to try to test what power he has and stuff, and begins to train. Now, as he's training, Deku has a feeling that someone's watching, and this is where he looks around, and we're gonna say this is a female Shigaraki. Now, this female Shigaraki and Deku is, you could say, a little bit bound. You could say bound by fate, because I kind of was looking around and looking at making people be bound by fate, and we're gonna make them bound by fate. Now I know what y'all saying. This is a little bit inhumane right here. This is supposed to be a what if, and this is supposed to be, a new what if, but this is a little bit crazy. Keisha Uchiha, listen. Whatever happens here stays here, alright? I'm making something spicy in the kitchen, alright? And this is the spicy cooking I'm cooking right now. Now, as Shigaraki, you could say watching Deku, she pretty much blushes and pretty much says, "It's something about him that I just can't put my finger on." Which Deku is pretty much looking around, but he pretty much says whatever. Deku, now Sorry if you hear any loud noise and shit. My bad. But pretty much, Deku begins to, test out what power he has and stuff and train. As he's training, he pretty much finds out he can go light speed. Pretty much go light speed and stuff. Like faster than light. And he begins to, go to, you could say, not teleport, but be real fast to go left and right and stuff. He realized that things can't hurt him. He's invulnerable to things. As for, as you could say the limited power comes in different categories of materialists, but he pretty much got the most powerful one of unlimited power because it's kind of light, you could say, but it can be in other ways too. Now, Deku realized he can, you go, think of it as the devil fruit light, but it's quite different because he can swim in water and stuff. Now, it's kind of as holy light, you could say. Now, Deku is pretty much going left and right and stuff, realizing he's fast stuff, and he can't get touched by anything. He's invulnerable, as nothing can hit him and stuff. As we're gonna say, a couple of stuff falls on him, and it pretty much went through him, or he pretty much went through it. Now, as Deku's testing out what he can do with disability stuff, he realized he can create weapons and stuff like light weapons, like an axe, sword, and stuff, and also weapons. Say now, as Deku's training in those 10 months, he's pretty much done his thing. All right, it's time for me to, go to the UA school now, or the UA is now. As he's going, he's pretty much walking and stuff, and he realized that he can pretty much fly, and he flies in light speeds. Now, no one can see Deku flying because, like I said, he's faster than light, and every time he uses abilities, it's limited. So he keeps getting stronger and stronger, and it keeps boosting. So every time he uses abilities and stuff, it keeps boosting him. So instead of like going down, he keeps going up higher. But he has an insatiable boredom. So he's really bored, and he wears a scarf because he has a insatiable to wear a scarf, and he will get bored a lot. Now, Deku's heading in there, and he's pretty much sitting down. Pretty much, he's not excited, but really bored. And he's saying, "This is boring." And this is where Bucko sits by Deku and trying to, call him a nerd and talk his shit, saying, "I don't know why you still doing here. You don't even have a quirk." Which Deku looks at him and says, "I don't care. I don't care what you say to me anymore. I'm really not afraid of you, and I'm quite bored here." And he pretty much gets up and go do the test. Now, Deku, as he's doing the test, he's bored, and he's pretty much just doing all the stuff, and he passes it with ease. Now, as we get to the robot's thing, Deku's pretty much saying, maybe this will give me excitement. Maybe this will give me excitement, but it's not really giving him excitement. As the instructor says, "Get ready, set, go," they begins to go. Now, Deku's pretty much destroying robots left and right and saying, "This is not a challenge," as he's thinking in his head, and he's wearing a scarf too, slashing robots left and right. Now, as he's pretty much think he's not saying, "I'm too bored. This is not fun," and begins to walk away. This is where he hears a girl screaming, and he looks and it's Uraraka asking for help. Now, this is where Deku says, "Alright, I guess," and begins to come and walk. But 0 point. Now, this is where he creates a ball of light, pure light, and he throws it up in the sky. Now, this is where he says, "And jump," and he does a backflip kick, and he kicks the light ball straight, like at the 0 point robot while doing the backflip. And it does a choom, and hit it straight through the 0 point robot, and it causes a massive explosion. Now, as it does a massive explosion, Deku lands down saying, he didn't make it anymore. He didn't make it. Yeah, well, that was the fastest that I destroyed something." And he pretty much goes to Uraraka and says, "Are you alright?" Now, Uraraka says, "Yes, thank you." Which Deku is saying, I'm bored. And pretty much walks away. Or pretty much walks away and stuff. Now, Deku pretty much heads home, and Inko well, you could say Inko is pretty much saying, "Oh, look like you're home." Now, Inko is pretty much, you could say, as a mother who's doesn't doesn't like her son because we're gonna say this Inko is not caring because Deku doesn't have a quirk. Now she's saying, look like you're home, quirkless boy." Now Deku is pretty much saying, I might have no quirk, mom, but there's one thing I have is power. Now, I pretty much heads upstairs, but she doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But he pretty much heads upstairs and pretty much lays down and says, "Man, this life is boring now. Like I thought I'd get excited of having this power, but I'm actually bored." And pretty much goes to sleep. Now, this is part one of what if Deku have unlimited, like limitless power or ultimate power. Well, we're gonna say limitless power or the gift of Karagiri. Yeah, we're gonna do what if Deku. This is gonna be part one of what if Deku had the gift of Karagiri. Now, if you like, leave like and stuff, and if you want to see another part to this. But I'm Keisha Chiu. Thanks for watching and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.